Welcome to Mr. Detail. Today we're going to be covering one of the services I provide called ceramic coatings. Ceramic coatings consist of silicon dioxide, which is basically ceramic. It is in liquid form and it is applied onto the surface of your automotive vehicle, motorcycle, RV, or boat, and will harden to a glass-like finish that has a hardness of 9H on the pencil scale, which, for those of you who don't know, is the hardest on the pencil scale. So here is a quick demonstration of how the paint is laid onto your vehicle. Your substrate, which is the material the vehicle is made of, your primer, with varying thicknesses of 30 to 50 microns, your base coat, with 30 to 50 microns, which is basically the color of your car, and then you have your clear coat, usually about 75 to 100 microns, the thickest part of your paint. Now, on the pencil scale, a typical clear coat, domestic, European, or Japanese, usually varies between 3 to 4H, sometimes 5H, which is pretty soft, not very hard at all. So this is why you want to add a coating on top of the clear coat, because what it'll do is it will protect that soft finish with a super hard 9H finish, and it'll guarantee that the original paint will stay protected for much longer than if you were to use waxes or sealants. Here's a quick diagram of what the pencil scale looks like. 9H, 8H, and 7H being the top three hardest, 6 and 5H being kind of in the middle, then 4H all the way to F being the softest. Typically, your clear coat's going to range between F and 5H. Any ceramic coatings that I use are going to be between 7 and 9H, which is pretty hard. Some of the benefits of a ceramic coating are that it's going to add thickness and hardness to the paint. It's going to protect against UVA and UVB rays, which eventually will deteriorate your paint and it will fade it, cause your clear coat to peel and chip off. Protects against hard water minerals found in well water or even city water sources. It's going to protect against acid rain and other pollutants. It's going to protect against road salts and solvents, which is really important for people who live in New England or any high snowy areas where the state departments and towns use very caustic materials to keep the roads melted. This is going to protect your finish from those corrosive elements. It's going to protect against tree sap, which I've seen tree sap eat right through the paint to the metal. It's going to protect against bird droppings, which are acidic in nature, and etch the clear coat almost within 10 minutes. So bird droppings are really important to get off the car quickly if you don't have a coating. And number 8, the most important and noticeable property of this material is that it's super hydrophobic, which is going to make washing your car so easy. You're going to wish that you had done this sooner and known about it sooner. Your drying times are going to be reduced. You're not going to have to wash the car as aggressively because a lot less contamination is going to be sticking to it. It just makes vehicle maintenance a complete breeze and, peace of mind and worry-free. And you just don't have to really think about whether or not, you're going to wash your wax off or wash the sealant off because you used a soap that wasn't safe for wax or wasn't initially intended for automotive cleaning. Which brings me to my next point. So let's talk about ways to protect your vehicle and the difference between each of them. First, you have your basic wax. It's usually going to consist of either fully carnauba or it's going to consist of synthetic polymers that mimic carnauba wax. Carnauba wax is a show wax. It's not made to protect the vehicle. It's just made to shine it up and make it look pretty. So it's not a really good protecting agent. Synthetic polymer waxes are a little protective, more so against the sun rather than scratches or elements. Usually waxes do bead water very well, but typically after your first or second wash, you're going to be washing most of that wax off. If you don't wash it between those periods, it's probably only going to last about 1 to 2 months. And it's a very soft finish. Next is the sealant. Some sealants actually contain silicon dioxide, but very few of them do. And the ones that do typically last very long. I've seen them last up to 12 months, but they don't offer the same type of protection a ceramic coating does, because they don't dry very hard. It's much like a wax, but it's just more resistant to the elements, so it lasts a little bit longer. I like to call it a big mimicking game. It's waxes and sealants like to mimic ceramic coatings nowadays, but they really just don't match up at all. Usually about 3 to 6 months, sometimes 12 months with sealants. Now, a ceramic coating, obviously we've covered that it's going to dry much harder. It's like basically adding ceramic glass to the top of your clear coat. And the one that I have currently on my vehicles lasted 3 years. So most advertise 12 to 24 months, and I don't think any of them go up to 9H, other than iGreen lovers. So I think this is the hardest ceramic coating in the market right now. Now, what's this going to cost? Well, I don't like to hide things from customers. These are my real-time prices. They never change. My installation price just to install the product is $2 to $260 for the poly coating, which is a 12-month protection service, or the quartz, which is $350 to $400, which is going to protect the car for anywhere from 18 to 24 months. And these are based on the company's guidelines and my own personal experience. So I know typically how long a ceramic coating is going to last. I've tested a lot of them, and most of them last between 12 and 24 months. It really just depends on how you store the vehicle and how you wash it. Now, what's required for me to do this job? First, the paint has to be decontaminated, whether the car is new or not. And then it has to go through a series of a single stage, dual stage, or triple stage correction to get the paint as scratch-free and swirl-free as possible. And this is going to allow the coating to adhere to the clear coat much better than if you were to do it on top of a car that was covered in scratches and decontamination, obviously. Paint correction is going to open up a new layer of clear coat, and it's going to allow the coating to bond much more successfully than if you were to not do the service. Why purchase it? Well, if you have an older vehicle, this is going to bring the vehicle's value way up. People are going to look at it like a new car and not like a used beat-up car. Even if you have a new car, it's going to preserve that value for a longer period of time. It's going to make the car easier to maintain, and it's also going to give you peace of mind, knowing that if something happens to the car, like acid rain or hard water from sprinklers, it's going to be protected until you can get it cleaned off. So here's a quick diagram or picture of paint correction. On your left, you have a damaged car. On your right, you have a corrected car. This is the process that I take in order to do all of my coatings on all of the cars. This is a Mustang that I did, for example. I think it's a 2016 5.0. Came to me with almost no miles on it. I did a single stage correction and a coating, and this car still looks as amazing as it did when it came to me 8 months later. Here's another car that I did. It's an Audi A8L. This one came to me with, it's actually used, but the owner wanted to have all the defects removed and a coating put on. And the coating, about a year later, is going nice and strong, and the car still looks very amazing. Like I said, it really just depends on your washing styles and how you maintain the vehicle, whether you bring it to me for maintenance or if you do it yourself. That's going to really depict how long anything would last and how clear and clean your paint finish is going to look. I appreciate you taking your time today to learn a little bit more about the services that I provide and ceramic coatings. If this is something you're interested in or any other type of service, please call 401-477-6366. Thank you.